On the 578th day of the war in Ukraine, the fighting was concentrated in these areas. In Zaporizhzhia front, intense battles are ongoing in the areas south of Robotine and west of Verbove. Near Verbove, the advance inside the trenches is slow, but during the last 24 hours Ukrainian forces made progress in expanding their control east and south of their previous positions while reinforcing their hold on the trench lines on the eastern flank of this sector. In this area, many sources agree that the Ukrainian forces have managed to either cut off or at least turned into a gray zone a part of the road between Novoprokopivka and Verbove, which the Russian forces used to send reinforcements to the weak points of their defensive line. As a result of the reported advance of the Ukrainian forces in this direction, as well as across some tree lines south of the trenches, the Russian forces are now facing significant challenges in fortifying their positions in this direction. This could potentially speed up the advance of the Ukrainian forces inside the main trenches. Intense clashes were reported taking place on the other side of the front. In the area south of Robotine, pro-Russian sources claim that their forces launched effective counterattacks, resulting in the recapture of some previously lost positions. Ukrainian sources acknowledged the Russian efforts, but based on recent developments, they informed that the Russian counterattacks south of Robotine were not successful. During the last 24 hours, Ukrainian troops advanced towards the northeastern outskirts of Novoprokopivka. Ukrainian reconnaissance units were seen reaching the first buildings of the town in this direction, where some of their soldiers were ambushed by the defending Russian forces. Unconfirmed reports from pro-Ukrainian sources suggest that the Ukrainian forces are making progress north and northeast of Novoprokopivka. According to these sources, the northern outskirts of the town are currently contested. In Bakhmut front, during the last 24 hours fighting was reported taking place northwest and south of the city of Bakhmut. Northwest of the city, Russian and Ukrainian sources reported that the Russian forces launched several attacks in different points of the front line. Russian forces attacked the Ukrainian positions in the Zalizyanske-Orikovo-Vasilivka segment, but it is still not yet clear if the Russian forces managed to gain ground in this direction. According to pro-Russian sources, their forces managed to recover some of their lost positions, while pro-Ukrainian sources say that the Russian attacks were stopped. Further south, Russian forces organized other attacks in the areas east of Bogdanivka. However, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Russian attacks were stopped and Ukrainian forces continue to hold their positions. In the northwestern outskirts of Bakhmut, a small advance of the Ukrainian forces in the village of Kromove was reported. According to geolocated footage, Ukrainian troops managed to take control of several buildings inside this settlement. In the southern part of Bakhmut front, the Ukrainian forces are advancing in the Klishivka-Kurdyumivka sector. Regardless of the efforts of the Russian forces to counterattack north of Klishivka and east of Andriivka, as expected, without major reinforcements and significant armored attacks, the Russian forces have not been able to recover ground in any of these settlements. On the contrary, Ukrainian sources said that Ukrainian forces managed to clear other Russian positions east of Klishivka and northeast of Andriivka. Official sources from the armed forces of Ukraine stated that they are increasing the fire control over the supply lines of the Russian forces north of Klishivka and east of Andriivka, further complicating the situation of the Russian forces in this area and forcing them to remain only in their positions along the railway without being able to advance in any direction. According to the latest geolocated footage, it seems that the Ukrainian forces, in addition to the clearing operations near the railway, are also increasing the pressure on the Russian positions in Kurdyumivka, which seems to be their next target. Geolocated footage shows that the Ukrainian forces managed to capture some buildings in the western outskirts of this town, creating a small bridgehead across the Siversky-Donbass Canal. Friends, if you like my daily updates, I kindly ask you to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as this will greatly help the channel to reach a wider audience. That's all for today's update. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and have a great day.